So, what's Korea like as a mining jurisdiction? It's it's actually a very poorly developed mining industry. So, it's one of the challenges we'll have in Korea is developing the mines there. But it's also the other side of the coin, though, is that because it hasn't really had much of a mining industry, it also hasn't really been explored either. So there are some huge opportunities there. So it's really unexplored territory in many ways. So we are trailblazing to some extent. To put it into historical context, Korea used to be a major gold producer back in ancient times, same as Japan. And so it had a mining industry once, but most of it was shut down in the 1970s. So in terms of a modern mining industry, that's yet to unfold, and we're in the process of doing it. So the outlook my personal view on the outlook for gold is that looking at it in a macro sort of sense, it's always a very big call, and everyone hates trying to predict the gold price. But what is evident from an explorer's point of view is that there have been very few quality discoveries in recent times. So what's happening is that we're gradually depleting the amount of gold in the ground, and it's not being replaced. Certainly not being replaced at the rate it's being mined. And because of the recent downturn in the industry, exploration has been at a low ebb, and so there hasn't been that many discoveries, and that means that the crunch will come in the future when people look for the next phase of mining, and it just won't be there. So that's one of the reasons why we're in Korea, actually, is because we think there's a very good chance of finding something quite substantial and will make a difference to that equation. Yeah, so just extending that a bit in terms of how we're going to take advantage of the gold market and what we're trying to achieve. The way I look at it is that there are very few tier 1 gold deposits found in the world. In fact, Minex Consulting, Richard Shoddy's presentation this morning explained that perhaps only 1 every 2 years is found globally, and that's for tier 1 deposits across all commodities. So look, we see there are tier 1 or very good quality deposits in Japan, and there have been several significant deposits found in recent times in China, and Korea sits in between in geological space and time between Japan and China, and so it has a lot of the same analogous geological prospectivity. It just hasn't, because of various socio-political reasons, it hasn't had the same amount of attention, and so we think that in the same way Japan and China has sort of shown the ability to to have large deposits, they're likely to be in Korea. They just haven't been found. Because we're one of the more credible players when it does come to a play like this. And not only that, something we haven't touched on in these questions is, with our business in Western Australia, we've got cash flow from a small mine there. So we're a junior company, but we've got actually funding coming in from a mine. And we've also got quite a bit of money in the bank, so we're well funded. We've got a very tight capital structure. We're well positioned corporately in terms of our ability to do things in the M&A space, and we're actually active explorers too. So when I come to conferences such as Mines and Money, I'm not just talking about one single project. We've actually got half a dozen projects in Australia and about another half a dozen in South Korea that are of some substance. And a bit unusual for a company of our size, we have an operating mine, several projects under development, and a very substantial exploration business. So the mining investment landscape has changed quite a lot. I mean, anecdotally, I could say that in some ways the hangover is stronger and deeper in Australia. So, we went through a big mining boom. We've obviously come, through a correction phase. We're starting to come out of that. I think most people would say that, things have improved in the last year or two, and that's probably true. But I would also say that in the industry, Australia has really suffered the deepest hangover. It's okay for the mid caps and the large caps. They're doing very well. The gold price is extremely high. But for the junior space, it's still a bit of a mixed market, and you still struggle to find that capital. It's easier than it was 2 years ago, but it's still not easy. I've just come back from London, and there's a lot more interest in London actually for risk capital, and so these things go in phases. At the moment, it looks like London. Maybe ASX time will come in a few years' time. The favourite thing I have about the Mines and Money event is that it's a great networking event. A lot of my network come through Mines and Money Hong Kong in particular. I tend to be a regular here for the Hong Kong event. And so yes, look, it's got a good quality crowd. Particularly this year, it's been a little bit more upbeat. I would say that sort of the quality of some of the projects has probably gone up a few notches, which is good to see. There's still a lack of very good quality exploration plays though, and Southern Gold's been getting quite a bit of interest, I think, because we actually do have something that's evolving that is very interesting. And some of the majors are even coming up and having a chat to us. So I think that's a bit of a sign that the larger companies are now fishing for opportunities in the space, and that's a sign of the recovery as well.